Welcome to Her Seat at the Table, a conversation series featuring badass women in food and beverage and their experiences in the turbulent, ever-changing, and utterly human industry of hospitality. I'm your host, Sara Abernethy. I'm a North Carolina-based restaurateur and entrepreneur evolving into my next era in food and beverage. I'm on a mission to share candid conversations, lessons learned, and newfound inspiration with you through a female-led perspective. Thank you for joining me at the table today. Today's conversation is with the amazing Inie Ribustello of Tarboro, North Carolina. You will hear me affectionately refer to her as Inie throughout. If you don't know her, it is my pleasure to introduce you to her. Inie is an established restaurateur, a published author, a certified wine expert, brewery boss, mom, wife, fellow Tar Heel, fellow empath. I see so much of myself in this person, and when you are in an ownership role across any industry, when you can find someone who feels like you, it's just really amazing. Currently, Inie is the director of hospitality for the amazing Frankie Lemmon Foundation, directly supporting the Frankie Lemmon School here in Raleigh, North Carolina. This is an amazing institution that offers an inclusive environment for children of varying special needs. They offer every single student a sense of belonging, friendship, and opportunity to reach their full potential. And they also know how to throw an epic party. I always say no one throws a party like Frankie Lemmon. So in this conversation, we talk about Inie's decision to have the courage to take a very rarely celebrated leap from business owner back to W-2 employee. And it transformed her life. So if you are in the depths of despair, grappling with your identity in any capacity, or even considering taking an alternative path outside of business ownership, because don't lie, we have all entertained this train of thought multiple times, this conversation is for you. So please enjoy my chat with Inie Ribustello. Like you as a writer, because you write all the time, and it just seems like it. First of all, you're so talented. You're such a beautiful writer. And second of all, you're making it happen and putting things out there. And I just think that's really lovely of you. This is where I'm going to start. Okay. Who connected us on Facebook? Kitty. And thank you. Thank you. But I feel like I attacked you on Facebook Messenger and was like, oh my God, be my friend. And no, Kitty was like, if you're into wine, there is somebody in the community that you should meet, and it was you. And then we discovered that I am you. I am you, just a few years behind you.
More than a few, but I'll take
No, a few years behind you. And that is why I read your memoir, Life After Windows, probably once a year, Inie, cover to cover. And so does my mother. We read this book because I see so much of myself in you, this UNC grad who goes to New York City to take on the big world, living in an apartment with your girlfriends. And then you just stumble upon this. I mean, you had gone there to go to culinary school, but you just sort of stumbled upon this path in wine and then went to California. And then came back and married a man and opened a restaurant with that man that you still speak to. Yes.
With such kindness.
Such kindness. And that restaurant, for those who don't know, Inie, is on the square in Tarboro, which is still rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
For
23 years.
23 years.
24 in October.
That's insane.
I know.
Yeah, it's insane. But then also where I really relate to Inie was there was a moment in her trajectory as a restaurateur where she was like, I can't do this with the love of my life any longer in partnership. Something must change.
Yes.
And that's when you pursued Tarboro Brewing Company.
Yes.
And how long were you at the helm of the brewery?
Well, so interesting fact. Today is our 10th anniversary of
Oh
opening
my God.
actual brewing space.
That's so
I know,
exciting.
it feels so surreal. But I led it from 2016 to the end of 2023. So what is that? 7 years?
Yeah,
7 years.
7
Yeah.
years. Yeah, that's a second grader,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yes.
And the big reason I've strong-armed Inie into joining me on her seat at the table is because what I really want to dig into about is your decision to retire from restaurant ownership and operatorship and go back into being an employee, where you are now the director of hospitality for the wonderful Frankie Lemmon Foundation.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you just said nobody talks about that. And I'm like, what do you mean nobody talks about that? I think that's the most delicious question.
Yeah, I mean, firstly, you and I have gone back since COVID. 2020 is when we
That's
met.
when we met, yes.
And you were the one who, you and my friend Kate Boyette told me about Fab. And so I've gotten the opportunity to go there twice.
Are you going in June? 10 years.
I have a son graduating that week.
Oh,
So from high school, so probably not. So the truth is, I never in a million years expected to do something outside of the owner operator.
and doesn't it feel like you ascend to a new level and you can't unsee what you see
Right.
as an owner?
Right. You can't.
You can't.
You just can't. The
Mm-mm.
experiences are too deep
Yeah.
and so vast.
So vast. And for me, there's this constant undercurrent of what if I fail and I have to close this whole thing down and I'll be so ashamed.
Right. For sure. And honestly, at the end of 2023 in for the brewery, I had raised almost as much money as I raised trying to get it off the ground.
Amazing.
And I couldn't seem to stop the bleeding, and I was not sleeping, and I had a daughter who was a sophomore in college and a son who was a sophomore in high school, and I was depleted, and really knew in my heart that I loved that brewery so much that all I wanted to do was make it work,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't have to be attached to it to make it work. And so I literally started calling the board members, and they were all, you know what, you've given it a real go. Like, this isn't unusual. This isn't unusual for the president to step down after 7 years. And, there was no plan in place for me. I mean, I was, I'm a hugger. So I was like, maybe I'll go be the greeter at the Walmart or the public school system and just, greet people and figure out how to make that, pay the bills, but had no plan in place. And truly, because the universe is so wild, I got a DM from,
So crazy.
I know, from somebody who grew up in Tarboro, but I knew him, but did not know him well. He was older. And he said in the DM, would you entertain a phone call from me? I just hope you won't say no immediately.
Pause. Okay. First of all, I've said this to you before in person, but you did literally shed blood, sweat, tears trying to keep it going. And nobody else probably would have stewarded it better in that way, truly, with as much passion and commitment as you did. And I hope you're proud of that in a way. I say this as someone who also has looked at a bleeding P&L over and over and over and over and been like, I'm the worst. It's me. It's my fault. I'm the worst. And then to have the self-awareness and the wisdom, the deep wisdom to say, I don't have to be in charge for this to be successful is very rare. That's very special. I don't know if you feel that way, but I do not know many people who have the integrity and the courage to do that.
You make me feel very good. Thank you.
It's true.
Thank you.
It's true. Then it was like, when you made that decision, be like, okay, I'm going to not, I'm going to try and figure out an alternative path. Did you feel like, did you feel relief?
So at first I don't even know if I had anything to feel.
Yeah, I get, you're dead inside.
There was not relief at first. It came
eventually,
but it did not come in that moment of saying I'm gonna pass on. I'll tell you just a funny, like, story of where you know you made the right choice.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, so the DM came, and I thought this guy was gonna ask me for a donation, and I'm like, "I
To
don't have
Frankie
any
Lemmon.
more donations."
Yeah. Yeah.
But he says, "We have this job that has your name written all over it. Will you come, and will you meet with our executive director, who she's from Rocky Mount, and we knew each other growing up, but I had not seen her since 1994 when I graduated from high school or thereabouts." So anyway, all of a sudden things start moving super fast. My husband was in shock. He's like, "Somebody's offering you a job? You're like 47 years old, and like, this is
And you haven't been
insane."
an employee in
Yeah,
a long time.
long time. And so we were both blown away. Like, we were like, "Are we getting punked?" This whole
Yeah.
thing. So it starts moving fast. That's when the board is like, "We're not sure we want you to leave," right? Like, everything is, now, of course, I think as women, we
Mm-hmm.
feel responsible. So I am thinking, I've got to get somebody on board to replace me. Anyway, I know now.
Every ecosystem around you.
Yeah.
You're like, how can I do everything I can to support this and hold this up?
I've got to take care of this.
I've got to take
Gotta
care
take
of
care of
everybody.
So I finally made the decision. I'm going to go work for Frankie Lemmon.
Oh,
And that
God.
Saturday,
So
we had
excited.
a beer festival in the Outer Banks. It's a huge one. Brewtog. I had the sexy canoe van.
Yes.
Filled with, I would say, 19 kegs.
Yeah.
I loaded them up myself. Again, 47 years old. I am not what the brewer person looks like.
Uh-huh.
And the back left tire blew out on the 2-lane bridge over Alligator River going to Outer Banks. And I'm sitting there, and traffic, it was terrifying. Like, people were passing. It was terrifying. It took 2.5 hours to get the tow truck there. And I sat there, and I just thought, if there has ever been a sign that I am doing the right thing, like, there is no denying this. There's no denying this. And it sucked.
Yeah.
And I got there late, and the whole thing was just a disaster.
I'm surprised you didn't jump off the bridge.
I was like,
swim.
I can't believe this is happening. But that was when I knew.
Uh-huh.
And then started, and then January happened, and I was still doing like reconciliation for the brewery, tax returns, and it was really stressful. And then I think it was that spring where I was able to pull out, where I felt like I hadn't left anybody high and dry. You and I know the truth is, people leave companies all the time, and they do not continue to do work, but that's not our personalities. And
also, the brewery was so much more to you.
Love it.
Than a job. It was a community pillar that you built tooth and nail. And you wanted to continue on. So, of course, you would want to do everything you can to tie it up neatly.
Yes. And so I think it took probably 6 months from when I left or when I made the decision to leave to really feel like relief.
Complete.
Yeah.
I know you are out there, ladies, people who are thinking, oh my fucking God, ownership is so hard and so painful, and I can't imagine doing anything else, but this road is so unstable. And then you think about, am I going to have to go back and get a job? And we think about that as like a worst case scenario. But for you, it seems to have restarted your whole life over. Like, it seems to have brought the light back into your eyes.
Yes.
And
truly.
Part of that, I think, has to do with the fact that it is a fabulous job and it's so fun, but you are the perfect person for that. How long's it been? 2 years?
3 years.
3 years?
Yeah, it's crazy.
So how do you feel like this last year? Because I do, like, the first year in a row, I feel like you're like just trying to figure it out. The second year in a row, you're like, okay, have some context under me. And then the third year, you're really grooving.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel that way?
Well, I'll never be grooving. Like I'm not a groover. I'm never in the groove. I'm always on off-roading. Yeah, for sure. This year has been like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I think firstly, our team is really great. There are 8 of us and 7 of us are women.
Is that the whole Frankie Lemmon Foundation?
Foundation.
Yeah,
Yes.
7 or 8.
Yes.
Okay.
And I love our fearless leader, executive director, Marcia Hargett. She's like so inspiring to me. And the mission is so clear
Mm-hmm.
of what we're doing. And I will say, I think we as women are placed here to lift up other women and to be in a role where I can be a massive cheerleader. I've never been happier.
I think it's your zone of genius.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Is to be in a cheerleading, but sort of still coordinating, magic making experiences position. Yeah.
It's just, that's what fills me up.
I love that. What for you, for those who are not familiar with Frankie Lemmon, what is the mission? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes. So we're in our 61st year. The school is in its 61st year. It was serving children with special needs before it was mandated by federal law.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty revolutionary. Started right here in Raleigh in the bottom of Hudson Presbyterian Church and moved to Hayes Barton. It's now in a freestanding building. The school serves children with, and it's an inclusive school. Just piloted 3rd grade. It's pretty special. One of my dearest friends, her daughter was there when it was at the basement of Hayes Barton, and we're getting ready to embark on a capital campaign.
Ooh.
Expand and go into 2 new buildings.
Oh, exciting.
Go up to 5th and then 8th and then eventually life skills.
Wow.
And, knowing that I think growth is important for all of us, and to be involved in something that we're actively working to grow obviously it gives me so much purpose, but also most people so much purpose. So it's a school in the Triangle where families can send their children at no charge to receive all of the therapies and resources that their children deserve and need. And so it's really special. I think it started with maybe 3 or 4 students, and it's now we almost serve 100 kids.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Up there, I didn't realize it went through 3rd grade either. That's amazing.
So this past year's the first year we so we keep piloting. And so this year we piloted 3rd grade.
Oh, that's so fabulous.
Yeah.
The other thing I will say is that nobody puts the fun in fundraising the way that you guys do. I really mean that. So the big event of the year for you is Triangle Wine and Food Experience. Is that fair to say?
Very, yeah.
Which is always like the last week of January, first week of February, sort of when we've come down from the holidays, but it's not yet Valentine's Day. And also restaurants are like, please, come dine with us.
Exactly. How
was it this year? I mean, it's always insane.
So it was great because our team, all of us are like in the groove, and it's such a great team. But we've started preparing so much earlier that even though we were handicapped with the snow and the ice that came, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, are we going to do this? And as Marcia said, we've never canceled and we never plan to cancel. We've got people flying in. There's just too much. And so despite the weather starting the week and people very nervous about getting product in, rightfully so. It was a great weekend. This community, they support it in so many ways, not just the donors and the sponsors, but the
restaurants.
I mean, the restaurants, and of course the people flying in from the wineries and the chefs who fly in. I mean, it's just inspiring to see how deeply people care. And I love that you say put the fun in fundraising.
It's so fun.
It's so fun. And the fact that the Friday morning is spent at the school where people can see why what they're doing matters is just, it's a home run. It was originally, it was called TWE, Triangle Wine Experience. And the way I've heard, it was like in a backyard party with like cheese crackers and wine. And it has grown to become a $3 million fundraiser. I mean,
Incredible.
It raises half of our annual operating budget for the school.
Amazing. And how many restaurants participated this year?
35.
Yeah. So there's 35 events around this week.
And then 6 in-home dinners.
Okay.
And so, a little over 40.
In one week?
On one day. On Thursday night.
Oh, it's all. Oh, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah. So all those dinners happen on the Thursday night.
Oh my God! And then I know you have
Saturday.
There's a fete, a soiree on Friday, and then there's a gala on Saturday afternoon, which I think is so cool.
Darty, who doesn't love a darty?
I know, a matinee. Give me a matinee. It's just so smart. From a restaurant perspective, we want to be asked to participate in this event. Transparently, it feels a little bit like a cool kid status pat on the back when you get asked to participate in Triangle Wine and Food.
I love that. I love that people think that. I will kind of talk about the puzzle piece of my job.
Yes, please do.
So all of these restaurant dinners have at least one sponsor.
Right.
And so you are trying to A, make the sponsor happy, B, make the restaurant happy with the winery pairing.
Right.
Which is hard if you're doing, when I first started, I can't remember the restaurant. I'm not going to call anybody out, but it was a Asian influenced restaurant. And they're like, please don't give me a California Zen producer.
Yeah.
And I get it.
I get it.
And that's what drives me. But, this past year really didn't have any luck getting international wineries because of the tariffs, and it was a tough time. And also the California wineries are our longest supporters.
And those longer relationships that you have.
Too,
oh,
and
man.
we want to make sure. Anyway, so like trying to make sure. And I do channel my dad because he says, if you're making everyone happy, you're doing something wrong. Great.
Wow.
I am winning.
Wow.
Because you're never making everyone happy in this. And you're trying
That's
to.
so hard.
It is. But you know what? I do feel like when you have people who understand the mission and understand there are plenty of ways, maybe we're not going to do the restaurant this year, but we're going to do Piggy, or we're going to do Saturday's event. However, I think when people, I don't know, it's never, it's not my favorite part of the job, but it is like the restaurants.
The Tetris you have to do. Yeah.
And, one thing that we've also found is, the sweet spot for the number of people, like 25 to 30, because these wineries are donating all of the wine, and they don't want to do a dinner for 50 people.
Yeah.
Or even like one winery was like, you have me at 42 people. I said 35 to 40. And I was like,
I'm so sorry. And I mean,
that's something that I'm learning. Like maybe that's just, and then it's less of a hurt feeling.
Yeah.
Because it's like, look, we have to do it 30 to 35. If you don't want to close your restaurant down for 30 to 35, I totally get it. There's never a perfect solution, but it is, it's very intricate and interesting, and obviously tons of dynamics pull into play.
We've learned a lot every year that we do it at both at Y Hill and Glass House Kitchen. And I will also shamelessly say, Inie, please feel free to include us in any Frankie Lemmon event that you host all year round. We are just always delighted to participate. Truly. So thank you. And this year was still really fun. It was the first one that I personally have been at Glass House.
Oh, you got to attend.
Yes. I didn't sit down and have dinner, but I was there for, I wish I had gotten to sit down and enjoy the menu, but it was so nice to meet Tegan from Turley Wines, and their wines were so wonderful. Everybody who came had a great time.
He's a gem.
He's a gem.
He has a personal project, Sandlin.
Yes, we talked about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think having someone like him, it's
a real deal.
Yeah.
That's a real deal. So we were happy to be paired with a California Zen producer like Turley.
Right.
But also their Zinfandel is so, I said this to him, it's restrained, it's elegant, it's not what you think of when you think of like mass-produced California Zinfandel.
Exactly.
It was wonderful.
It's very balanced. And I
Very balanced.
give him a lot of that credit
Yeah.
too. He does a really
real good job. So we have Triangle Wine and Food in the winter. Then we have Piggy, which she said Piggy before. What she means is getting piggy with it, which was a collaboration with Jake Wood, right?
Oh, yes.
He was the
culinary curator
of
yes.
this. Mm-hmm. Starting in 3 years ago.
This will be our fourth Getting Piggy.
Fourth year.
Yeah.
And this is a super fabulous barbecue festival where you also have local purveyors and breweries and beverage producers and wine and cocktails and ice cream and live music. It's a super fun, family-friendly day.
Yes.
Hosted at Trophy Maywood.
Yeah.
Yes.
But would love to plug Piggy because not only does it raise money for Frankie Lemmon School, one of the many things I love is that we have a lot of our families from the school bring their kids.
I know, it's so fun. And you see all kinds of children playing together.
Yeah. It's great.
And it's really special.
Yeah.
It's really special.
And again, I love a Sunday fun day.
I love a Sunday fun day.
My crowd comes up from Tarboro and volunteers. It's really fun. And I think it's a different way and, dare I say, more accessible to get people involved.
Yeah.
You know, and I love that event.
Some people who might be intimidated by a wine dinner, a coursed experience, may feel way more comfortable at an outdoor springtime fun day.
Yes.
So I think that's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Will you have the face painter back?
If we don't, I'm not going.
I got my face painted last year. I was completely unapologetic about it. It's always, White Hill participates usually.
Yes.
I hope we will again. And last year there was a champagne stall.
There was.
Which I was like, hello.
I think it went pretty quick.
Yeah, no, it did. It did go quick. Just a quick break in today's conversation to extend an invitation to you. Your listenership and your support of the podcast truly, truly means the world to me. And it does take a significant amount of resources to produce this podcast. So if you have enjoyed these conversations, if you want to help continue ensuring that these conversations and this visibility are available to the women in our community and the people who need it most, I invite you to join our Her Seat at the Table Patreon community. You can join for as little as $3 a month, which is basically like buying me a cup of coffee, which would be very appreciated. And I do have some cute perks in there, everything from doing a live shout out of your name on an upcoming episode, all the way to an invitation to the upcoming Her Seat at the Table dinner party, which I host in the fall of each year in Raleigh, North Carolina. So thank you for considering, thank you for listening, and let's jump back into our conversation.
We're going to do better next year. We're going to do better this year.
And then are there other events throughout the year? I feel like those are the two big ones.
They're the two big ones. We also do a golf classic, which is...
okay.
I've heard that ours is the oldest charity golf function in the Triangle. It'll be 62 in October. That was the first fundraiser the Frankie Lemmon School ever did, was the golf classic. And so that's October 19th. It's always a Monday. And that is for people who like golf.
Sure. Right? If that's your vibe.
That's your vibe.
Sure.
And then we do a really great month of giving for November, which we had the sleigh bells sing at our Giving Tuesday, which I cannot tell you. One of our parents was trying to contact you about...
Amanda.
Yeah.
She had us.
Did.
Yes.
That was because of Giving
I know.
Tuesday.
So Mike and Amanda on 94.7 QDR, she was so sweet. She had us on. We went on and sang on the radio. It was so wonderful.
Yeah, and her son Jackson's a first year.
And her son Jackson is a first year. That's right. For those listening, I am a singer, if you don't know that by now. And because I can't have a hobby without turning it into a business, because I'm a psychopath, I launched a holiday entertainment group last year called The Sleigh Bells. It's adorable.
Whoop, whoop.
It's whoop whoop. It's
I'm obsessed.
a cappella trio singing holiday classics in the style of the Andrews Sisters, but like with a little Marilyn Monroe flair. Very
so
fun.
Great.
Yeah,
it's so great. I cannot tell you.
I'm so glad to hear that.
About that.
Oh,
it was
I'm
like so special. So special.
Oh, yay! Well, it was a fun event. They loved being there.
Okay,
the ladies that were there absolutely loved it. Well, that's a big year. I mean, that's where you live, right? Like just making all of that happen, and it's such a critical function to the school.
Yeah.
So for those of us who are like, well, fuck, if I have to close down my restaurant or I am so burned out and I can't imagine taking one step further and I have to go get a job, I will be a failure. If you are thinking that, what do you say to those people? Because it doesn't look like there's failure at all in your situation. It looks like a huge triumph, actually.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. I think, firstly, when we wake up in the morning, we are loved and we are important and we are vital to this world. Like, we don't actually have to do anything to make us have worth or value. So that's a lot of counseling, by the way.
I agree with that deeply in my soul. I do not practice that well.
I know. It's so hard.
I believe it. I believe it.
You believe it for others, right?
I do believe it for myself.
Okay.
I'm really working on that,
Yeah.
but I still struggle with at the end of it's easy to think that when you wake up in the morning. It's harder to think that at the end of the day when you're like, I didn't quote do enough today. When if you really, any sane person who looks at my schedule is like, again, you're a psychopath. You did a lot of things today.
So much more than any.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God forbid taking a day to do nothing.
It's okay. It's okay. It's hard. It's hard.
But
yeah, I think the best thing we can do for ourselves is to give ourselves a break mentally, emotionally, physically. You know, I talk to myself, but like, hey, guess what? You leave this restaurant, you leave this brewery. No one's going to die because of it. The world is not going to shut down because of it. But if you are unhappy and you are not able to show up in the way that makes you feel alive, then you actually are failing if you're not going to acknowledge and recognize that. And I was fortunate enough to have something waiting for me, but I would tell anyone who is in a position where they are unhappy or unfulfilled, don't wait. You know, you can go do side jobs, side hustles. There's plenty to do while you're looking for the
next step.
Whatever. But no, there's no failing with saying, I'm not going to do this anymore because
I am unwell. I'm unwell.
I'm unwell. I'm physically unwell. I'm not
It is
sleeping.
so real. And I don't think people get real enough with themselves quickly enough that is the current state of things. A lot of people wait until their body starts to break down and they get sick to realize like, I'm forced to now make a change. So ironic because you start a business with the idea of like, I want to be free and I want to, and right. Like you think it comes with this freedom and it does not.
Right.
I have never felt so trapped.
Yeah.
As I have as a business owner, operator, trapped. And for me looking at you, it seems like you've been set free. Do you feel like so much freer?
I feel so much freer.
Like you don't have the burden of payroll and taxes and equipment and
always being on.
always
And
being
always
on.
having your phone saying somebody needs a reservation, somebody needs you to meet them down there on a Sunday morning to get wine, somebody needs something. And that is not free. It's not free. Now, some people can do it and they're happy and that drives them, and great. I was not in this place 10 years ago, but I am in a place where I can say confidently, it's okay to step back, to let go, to go not be in charge. I really do.
Oh my God, Inie.
It's okay not to be in charge. It's actually great.
It makes me want to
for
cry.
me.
Which means like that hits a nerve. But if I'm being totally honest, there was definitely an ego component to having this title of owner operator.
Yeah.
There was, or like a status.
Passionate.
There is, but there also isn't.
Yeah.
Like there is.
It's the power with other people.
Yeah, I mean, it has been a transformative experience for me, and I don't regret one bit of it. I really don't. I've learned so much. I thrive on challenges, and I'm so proud of what we've done. But it is not free. You know, all the things that I thought that were going to come with it, all the glory that I thought would be there, it's not what that is. It's beautiful in many other ways. It's a beautiful thing to have a gathering place. That for me, and I think you share that too, to be able to be in stewardship of a place to gather, a third place, is very powerful for me. And that's what keeps me going. And I do love being in service. I'm not anymore right now because of the era I'm in with 2 little children, but I love the fast-paced nature of it and multitasking and crushing a service. And I love that feeling of walking out of the building tired in every fiber of your body. Don't you? To a degree?
To a degree.
To a degree. There is love for that when you can also have room in your life for other modes.
Right.
If that's the only mode you're in and you feel trapped in that mode, I know it's not as glamorous.
Well, I think like working the shift is always like, just so like, oh my God.
It's exciting.
So much energy. It's exciting. But then waking up in the morning and you're dealing with all the stuff leading up to the next shift, and that's taxing.
Yeah. I feel that you are an extroverted person, but do you feel like you've evolved into more and more of an introvert?
1,000%.
It's happening to me, and I feel like, what's wrong with me? But
nothing's wrong with you.
It is taking me more time to recover from big social situations that used to really just like fill my tank. Yeah. So that's okay.
Because it takes from your tank too, the social situation.
Yes.
It's like,
And then when you're dealing with all the stuff to get ready for the next service, you're not really recharging that battery.
Like I do think that when I retire, if I got a job bartending or waiting tables 3 nights a week, I can totally see it. Like not managerial, not doing anything, like just going and taking orders and making drinks, running food. I would be so happy.
Do you think you could do that without getting in your head about maximizing things or fixing things or like, oh, you guys are missing this?
Maybe if I were on an island, sure. Yeah, I don't know.
Like I could see it. If you could truly be like, I'm just an order taker and I'm dazzling the guests.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you are transcendent in that mode. I am too. I will say I am really and have always been exceptional at guest facing interactions.
Yeah.
It comes so naturally. It comes naturally to you too. I mean, I am you, as I say. I do want to ask you how you're feeling going into being an empty nester. Like you are really about to kickstart the next era fully.
And
this fall.
A couple of people have said this and I just totally like changed the subject, which is my total avoidance. I definitely am one of those people who can't anticipate things or can't see things until they actually happen. So my son, who will be graduating from high school and will be leaving, he is 18, so he'll be 19 in July. We held him back for
Yeah.
first grade.
Yeah. As
I
many do.
have been so patting myself on the back for that.
Good job.
You know, like I would not have been ready at this time last year. I wouldn't have. It would have been really hard.
Yeah.
I had said, my son told me, he was like, healthy birds leave the nest. And then he started becoming a real jerk. And my sister said, healthy birds soil the nest too, because they don't want you to miss them so much. But right now he is being so sweet and like making sure we get the hug before going to bed. And I don't know what it's going to be like. I try to not focus on anything that's going to be sad.
Yeah. For fear you'll never climb out of it.
Fear. Yes. I know it's going to be radically different in our house. I actually think my husband is going to have a harder time than I am. I do.
You guys, my jaw's on the floor.
Yeah.
If you can't see me. Based on what I know about your life, you can read it in her book if you want to know. Wow.
Yeah, he doesn't miss anything that Steven does, like sports related. He attends everything. And I think it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
Steven's like, you didn't go to my baseball game. I was like, I didn't sign up for baseball. Mom of the year.
Well, it's an interesting perspective for me who, Inie and I both have an older daughter and a younger son who I think are the same age apart, right? But I am just like so drowning in little children when it is all encompassing, but also I'm able to look back at my life before children because it wasn't that long ago. It really wasn't that long ago that I was a time millionaire and could do whatever I wanted, whenever relatively speaking, but I just didn't know how good I had it with that flexibility. And when I fantasize now, I fantasize about like, well, when am I going to have autonomy again? What it really gets into is like, you're never going to have that. Like that time is over. You are not going to have autonomy like that again. You might have more time, but you'll never go back to not considering these two human beings.
That's right.
And tell me I'm right.
You're right. You are right. I mean, that's just the worry that you inherently felt the minute that child was born. It will never go away.
Yeah. And what I honestly think I need to do is have a little bit of a grieving moment for my former self.
Sure.
Because that's one of the big shakeups going into motherhood of like, you are not the same. And there's this onboarding period of like, well, who am I now? And I'm feeling that again after the second baby too. Like, who am I now? I don't know. I'm very annoyed that I haven't met her fully yet. I'm like very irritably waiting for that to arrive. But I never really said goodbye to the me before children because I didn't know
Right.
that I needed to. And I miss I feel bad saying I miss that time and I miss that person. I wouldn't trade it. I'm glad we are where we are now. I hope that makes sense. I hope other people can relate to that.
You're grieving the loss of someone that will never be.
Will never be again.
Yeah.
And
you loved her.
I loved her. But I wish I had loved her with more grace too. I think I have sadness about that. I really wish I had loved my early restaurant owner self with more grace.
Same.
Because I was so naive and so many things I did were so embarrassing because I didn't know any better. But she was just doing the best that she knew how to do. And I wish I was nicer to myself.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes me the most sad looking back at it. Well, it seems like here's a nice little segue. It seems like you seem to channel a lot of your deep feelings as the deep feeler that you are through writing. And you are such a beautiful writer. You have written how many? You published
2 books.
2 books. Again, it's like, how does she find the time to do these things? But it must be because you get something out of it or you can't hold it all in and you have to get it out of you somehow. Have you always been a writer?
I always kept a journal.
You did?
Always. In fact, the joke is when I was 5 and my dad gave me a Hello Kitty journal, every day at the top it said date. And when we went back through it and looked, I had written, no, not yet. One day, because I thought date meant date.
That Juvenile sort of
I had no idea it meant the date. It's just so.
Oh my God. Not yet.
Oh.
One day.
One day, my prince will come. Yes. So I've always kept a journal. One of my friends in Tarboro, she said, "Did you know there's a term called grief writer?" And she's like, "I think you and I are grief writers." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, but I don't know if I want to be a grief writer." Because that sounds
sad. That sounds so dark.
But I do find therapy in writing. I like sharing words. I love reading what other people write.
I miss reading. I love reading too, and I miss it because it is not in the cards for me right now.
Exactly.
It will be again.
Right. And it will be again, because it was not in the cards for me either. And now I'm at a time where I can read, and it's, wow, such a kind of takeaway. You can just be taken away for 30 minutes. One of my coworkers, who's a big reader, and I love her, she said, don't read a book that you can't do the first 100 pages right then, because it'll be so hard. And I was like, oh my God, that's so
She's
smart.
so right.
Yeah, and she's young and wise. And
that's
anyway,
true.
Yeah.
Because then you're in.
Yeah.
You're invested.
Yes. Yeah. And you kind of have
that's so smart.
Yeah, it's very smart. So
Okay.
I'm trying to do that. Shout out Emily.
Thank you, Emily.
Yeah, so the writing piece, I'm trying to write something to I have a goal. I hate goals. I have an intention of publishing something.
Okay.
And it was supposed to be for this fall. I don't think it's going to happen unless I get a little break this summer. But yeah, I think when you can write and feel like you're releasing, expressing, there's just really great therapy in that.
Yes. And if you are a deep feeler like we are, do you consider yourself an empath?
Oh my God.
Yeah, me too. Right? I think a lot of us are drawn to hospitality. A lot of us deep feelers are, for many reasons. But to have that release valve is necessary. And you're so talented. I mean, as I say, I love this book. This book is so, and what I'm holding in my hands is her first published memoir, Life After Windows. And she tells you her life story basically up until now. But what I haven't mentioned is that Inie ascended to be the beverage director at Windows on the World in the World Trade Center. And Inie, if you don't know her, it is such an incredible story. I can just see you, this 25-year-old, tiny Southern, colorful person dancing circles around everybody in one of the best restaurants in the world, and in arguably one of, if not the most prestigious wine program on planet Earth. You managed it. Yeah.
And it managed me.
And it managed you. But just let's not gloss over that, bullet point on your resume, that's just such an incredible position that you held. But then you all know what happened. Everybody knows what happened. And this book is a lot about your reckoning with the aftermath of that.
Yeah.
And I mean, it will never leave you. It's powerful. It's really powerful. And it is something that most human beings have never had to carry, endure, navigate. It is a wild and beautiful story, and I highly encourage everybody else to read it. When you say you have something coming publishing-wise, is it a novel? Is it another memoir?
Part of it is inspired by Maggie Smith, the poet, who also has written a memoir. Part of it is inspired by the season that I'm in of parenting adult children and also parenting adult parents.
Can't wait to read it.
And it's just such a hard and beautiful time. It feels like I would be doing a disservice not to write about it. And so that's the premise. And, because you were so gracious, but I was supposed to be with you last February.
Yes, and you had a horrific month.
Yeah. And, stepfather unexpectedly died.
Yeah.
And he was really, firstly, a wonderful man, and also was doing a lot for my mom that we were not aware of. And thank God for my sister. She's moved in with my mom, but it's, as you know, parenting is hard. And then to be in a place where the people who guided you for so long now really deserve your guidance. And hopefully deserve, not everybody does, but
it has to be such a strange alien feeling.
it is so strange.
Like, what do you mean I'm driving the bus now?
Mature enough or equipped?
Yes. You're probably not equipped.
Yeah.
Nobody is equipped to go through this transition.
And so that's the premise of it. Like, if there's anything I can share that will be helpful to others, then I want to share it. Why wouldn't I want to share it?
Well, then I cannot wait to be among the first to crack this book. Maybe you should come back when it's published.
I would love that.
What do you think about that?
Yeah.
Are you self-publishing?
I will self-publish, yeah, for sure.
Okay, because that was this as well.
Yes. I say self-publish, or I would get Kate, who works or who owns Me Some Plus Publishing. She would publish it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kate, a new friend that
y'all met, right?
We have met. Yeah,
Okay,
we met at an event that you had last year. Yes, because I had just had Charlie, and it was like one of my first nights out.
Yes, at Raleigh Wine Shop.
At Raleigh Wine Shop. And I was like, people! That was a really fun event. She was lovely.
If you're ever in Charleston, she does women writing speaking events throughout the year in Charleston. She's worth following. Really, she has a Substack also.
Yes.
Called Unpublished. It's great.
I'd love to get to know her. She's a cool lady.
Y'all be buddies.
Inie, thank you so much for making the time to do this. I truly adore you. You are a role model to me. I will close this off by saying you set the example for me of what it means to be a leader in hospitality. You showed me that I could be a restaurateur and a mom, and that I didn't have to choose between both. And you also showed me it would be really messy, but it would be worth it, and that you can do it. And I thank you so, so much for being my friend. I adore you.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Her Seat at the Table. I hope you leave inspired with a morsel of motivation to take into your day, your week, into the next chapter of your career. And if you loved today's episode, share it with someone who you think could benefit from hearing it, and maybe consider leaving us a 5-star review. I hope to see you soon, and thank you so much for listening to Her Seat at the Table.